Call to order the Douglasville City Council Legislative Work Session for tonight, which is Thursday, December the 11th, 2025. We'll have the invocation by our own Emily Hardaway, the Community Communications Manager for the Douglasville Community Relations Department. After that, the Mayor Pro Tem will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand for the invocation.
Let's pray. Lord, thank you for this time we have today to gather together. As we enter into the holiday season, please help us remember the meaning of this season and to show love, joy, hope, and peace to each other. I pray that you will be with Mayor and Council this evening as they discuss city business and give them wisdom and discernment to lead our city well. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Mayor Pro Tem, for leading us in the pledge, and Ms. Hardaway, we appreciate the invocation. My name is Rochelle Robinson. I'm Mayor of the City of Douglasville. I'd like to welcome you to the Douglasville City Council Legislative Work Session. This is a work session where agenda items are presented for discussion and no official action will be taken this evening. We're just here to hear the information and discuss, and we'll make our decision next Monday at the 6 p.m. Voting meeting. If the business you're here for is not listed as an agenda item, there will be ample time under the agenda items comments from citizens and delegates for you to discuss your business. I'll go over a few protocol items and then we will get into the body of the meeting. I need to make you aware of this before we start the meeting. I ask that you would please keep your comments and presentations on a professional level, dealing with the facts that are important for this governing body to make our decisions. We will not accept comments that are considered by the chair to be of a personal attack on any individual or group of individuals. If you deviate from this warning, the chair for this requirement and a second deviation occurs, we will ask that you will request that you leave the premises or the chambers for the evening. Only one person speaking at a time. Please do not applaud, react to speakers. Speak from the audience, cheer, or carry on a conversation when you're at the podium. Please address all of your comments and concerns to myself and council members or that committee chair who's ever running that particular agenda item. I'll remind you that we're only required to accept public comments during the required public hearings. We are not required to accept public comments on other items before the council. And if you bring any items from zoning, they should be discussed at that time and not brought up after the meeting during public comments from citizens and delegates. If you have a cell phone or electronic device, I ask that you please put those in silent mode or turn those off until after the meeting so they will not be disruptive. Now, this is how the agenda items will be handled. The committee chairperson will read his or her item, and then that person representing that item or applicant will make his or her presentation. After that, myself and council members will possibly ask clarifying questions to help us make our determination for that item that we're going to vote on for next Monday. And after that, committee chairperson, if it is a public hearing, we'll ask for the applicant to speak, and then we'll have 20 minutes for those to speak in favor of the item, 20 minutes for those to speak in opposition. Each person has 5 minutes to speak. There's no repeats to coming back and forth to the podium. You have 5 minutes, and you should fill out a speaker form. They're outside in that there's on the desk, there is a some kind of, it's not the blue card anymore, I think it's a sheet, but you fill the sheet out and then you bring it in and hand it to the deputy city manager, Ms. Chelsea Jackson, or the assistant city manager, Ms. Karen Cowan, at the desk. They will get that information. You put your name and address, and then it goes into the official record to the clerk's office. But when you come to the podium, you say the same thing. You give us your name and address for the record, and then you have 5 minutes to talk. Each person has one opportunity. This is not a debate format or question and answer. If you ask a question and we're not able to answer it at this time, we will give it to our staff, and staff members will follow up with you at a later date. I believe that's it. If you have any materials that you would like to give us that you want to pass out, or some format or form that you want to hand us, or any documentation, please give it to the assistant city clerk or assistant city manager, and she'll give it to our assistant city clerk, Ms. Candace. She'll make copies for us. So that's with any printed material. And lastly, during the comments from citizens and delegates period, we will not address zoning matters that were discussed during the public hearing for the zoning application. The time to address those comments will be during the comments from citizens during that public hearing for zoning. Allowing those comments outside of the public hearing violates the Georgia State Zoning Procedure Act. I know that's a whole lot of information, and hopefully we're all on the same page. It should run smoothly if we follow all the instructions. So now we'll get to the agenda. The agenda is going to be handled by committees. The committee chairperson will be called forward, and that person, council member, will bring that information to the public. If you'd like to have a printed copy of the agenda, they're outside on the desk. If not, you can follow on the screens that we have. So now we've gone through 1 through 4. And we're at item number 5, which is Economic Development Committee. That's chaired by Mayor Pro Tem City Councilmember Terry Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. There's no business tonight to start off in economic development.
Thank you, sir. We do have business under Finance Committee, and that's chaired by Councilmember Chris Watts.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
You're welcome.
We have 4 items
Yes, sir.
tonight. We'll start with item A, adopt a resolution to amend the City of Douglasville citywide purchasing policy. Ms. Melissa Williams and Alyssa Gordon will handle this.
Okay. Alyssa Gordon.
Good evening. Alyssa Gordon, Procurement Manager. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tonight I'm presenting the proposed update changes to the city's purchasing policy. Why these updates matter now. Costs have increased significantly since our last policy update in 2022. Routine low-risk purchases are now exceeding outdated thresholds, forcing departments into overly complex processes not intended for these purchases. Updating thresholds restores balance, allowing large projects to receive robust competition while allowing small routine purchases to move efficiently. Key recommended threshold changes that are the most impactful updates are small purchases under $3,000 are for routine, everyday needs, such as minor repairs or office equipment. Informal quotes, $3,000 to $15,000. 3 informal quotes are required. It still requires competition, but it's much faster. Written quotes, $15,000 to $100,000, captures most mid-range operational work such as HVAC repairs, landscaping, and moderate construction jobs. Formal seal bids, $100,000 and above, are reserved for large capital projects and high-value items such as paving, major construction, and heavy equipment. The main benefit of this is that the revised thresholds align the procurement method with the risk level of the purchase, improving efficiency without compromising fairness or transparency. Purchase order thresholds. The PO threshold is proposed to be raised from $5,000 to $10,000, except for SPLOS, which requires POs for all purchases, regardless of the amount. The update improves workflow efficiency for departments while preserving finance's ability to oversee and validate all transactions. Strengthened internal controls, clearer documentation requirements for quote-level purchases. Purchase orders are required for all SPLOS spending, reinforced anti-splitting rules, updated seal bid procedures including no contact restrictions and clearer evaluation criteria. Mandatory supporting documents such as W-9s, certificates of insurance, E-Verify, and SAVE documents. Bottom line, that we've improved efficiency without loosening controls, and in fact, controls are stronger. We've included an oversight clause that states that finance may require stricter procedures for higher risk, specialized, or grant-funded purchases, with any added requirements documented in the procurement record. Emergency and professional service clarifications. Emergency purchases are clarified and capped at $100,000 with city manager approval, with written justification required. Professional services are now clearly defined according to Official Code of Georgia 50, 22, and 3. It ensures consistent classification and appropriate use of exemptions. Public Works compliance is strengthened by incorporating Official Code of Georgia 369120 by reference, ensuring alignment with Georgia's Public Works construction law as it changes. Overall value to the city, it modernizes the policy that hasn't been updated since 2022, improves operational efficiency citywide, strengthens internal controls, and ensures compliance with state law. It ensures that sealed bids are used when appropriate on high-value, high-risk projects. These updates align the policy with current economic realities and state law, improve efficiency across departments, and enhance internal controls. This does not change our approval process. Department heads are still responsible for confirming they have the budget and approving all expenditures. As an additional oversight, all expenditures are still reviewed by and approved by finance and the city manager's office. And we recommend approval of the revised purchasing policy. Any questions?
Thank you, Ms. Gordon. I do have a couple of questions. Thank you for the presentation. You were very thorough. Just for clarity for myself, everything outside of, with the exception of small purchases, will require 3 bids.
Some will require, but yes, 3 bids. Some will be informal and some will be written.
Okay, so a quote and a bid are different things. So quotes are until you get to the sealed bid.
Correct.
Okay, and the sealed bid is the formal sealed bid of 100,000 or larger?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but anything other than that would just be a quote?
Yes.
What's the difference between a quote and a bid? It seems synonymous that it's the same thing, but.
A quote is a little different than a sealed bid. Sealed
Okay.
bids are more in depth. They take a lot more time. We have to advertise. We have to get an evaluation committee together.
Mhm.
We have to do short lists. We have to interview. But quotes, you can just go out to different companies, solicit their services,
Okay.
and they'll provide a quote for you.
So a sealed bid would be where one person doesn't know what the other is doing, and it's
Correct.
like a RFP?
Yes.
Or for, okay. So that's the difference. And the other ones, the quotes are, like you're saying, if we have a relationship with a particular vendor, we can ask them to put in a quote. And do we advertise still for quotes?
We don't.
Okay, we don't advertise for quotes, but we advertise for bids.
Yes.
Okay. And then the other thing for clarity for myself is the city manager has authorization if there's an emergency and we're in between council meetings or something else happens, up to $100,000.
Correct.
Okay, like the air conditioning unit or whatever breaks down for all of City Hall, it would need to
Right.
get it fixed because everyone's hot and it's July, hotter than
Right.
July. Okay. All right, thank you so much, Ms. Gordon. Now open the floor for questions from council. None? No. Okay. All right, thank you so much. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
the presentation. All right. Coach, next
Yes,
one.
ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
You're welcome.
Item B is adopt an ordinance to amend the City of Douglasville's fiscal year 2024-2025 general budget, fund budget. Ms. Heather Campbell will handle this.
Okay.
Thank you, Coach. Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council. Heather
evening.
Campbell, Accounting Manager, 6695 Church Street.
Mm-hmm.
So this first amendment will be the final amendment for FY25. We're getting everything finished up and cleared up for the audit. After the budget amendment, the contingency will increase by $10,000. Some of the larger lines that were increasing or decreasing, the alcohol excise tax for beer and wine were decreasing by $85,000 based on actuals, and that's from the wholesale distributors. The alcohol excise beer, wine, liquor pouring, we're increasing $59,000. Those are from the restaurants where people buy the alcohol in restaurants and have it poured for them. The TAVIT, we are increasing by $34,000. That's based on actuals received from local vehicle taxes. Interest on delinquent tax revenues, we're increasing by $61,000. That's based on actuals. And then court services add-on reclass. So we have to do this each year. It's kind of a flow-through transaction. We collect it and pass it on to the appropriate parties. Due to accounting changes, bless you. Due to accounting changes, we have to account for it as a revenue and expenditure. So it's really just a pass-through for the fees that are collected during tickets. That's a majority of it. For expenditures, engineering, we're increasing $51,000 for other professional services for Stort Mill Road improvements. Police detectives, we're increasing by $21,000 for the digital forensic examiner wages and special duty pay. For their employee group insurance, we're also increasing by $57,000. That's due to higher costs for insurance and people changing plans as new employees are coming on. That's increasing that amount. Park administration, we are increasing their other professional services by $29,000 for a consultant related to the park strategic plan development. West Pines, we're increasing their property site improvements by $44,000 for bridge repairs for 2 bridges at West Pines. And then the court services, that is the offsetting expenditure. And they do equal each other, even though they don't on here. It looks like it's less on expenditures only because it was offset with other expenditures to balance out the budget amendment. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you so much, Ms. Heather. I do have a couple of questions.
Yes, ma'am.
The last one, you said court services was $986,000, and then I'm sorry, Coach, I should ask you if I could start talking. It's your committee. Okay. I'm just talking away. Okay, and then the court services add-on was 1.1 million. So
Correct.
what's the difference?
So for the expenditures, for the budget amendment, it was offset by other expenditures. And for court services, they had expenditures from other lines that offset that amount so that we didn't have to increase the budget as much.
Okay. For the police department, and I know we have the colonel, the digital forensic examiner, is that a person or that's a machine or?
It's a position. Yes, ma'am.
It's a person
Yes, ma'am.
that's looking through cell phones and technology and all that, trying to help solve crimes and stuff through. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I think that's it. That's all I have. Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Heather.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Any other questions, comments? I just was going to point out, and we had a conversation about this earlier as we met. One of the items in there showed a $44,000 for bridge repairs at West Pines, and anybody that drove by the high school in the last month saw that bridge repair, but that was not the only bridge for the $44,000. So didn't want anybody to think that we spent $44,000 on one bridge, but it was. There was a couple bridges that were repaired. Any other questions or comments? All right, I guess Ms. Campbell, just hold fast. Item C, adopt an ordinance to amend the City of Douglasville's fiscal year 2025-2026 general fund budget.
Thank you. So this one is the second quarter budget amendment for FY26, which is our current budget. And this is primarily for general fund for projects including the old mill site redevelopment, pavement evaluations, option to purchase feasibility for property, and stop sign replacements. We are increasing the business taxes insurance premium tax for $297,000, the interest on delinquent taxes by $198,000, and then the prior year property taxes by $138,000. Park athletics commissions, they are bringing in $2,000, which we are offsetting in expenditures for the overtime for staff that worked during events. So that is to pay those staff that overtime. In expenditures, we're increasing engineering by $200,000 for the projects and $128,000 for software subscriptions. They're getting a new software to help control or manage the projects that engineering handles and make it all in one uniform place. Non-departmental, we're increasing other professional services by $30,000 and general liability insurance by $150,000. Police info services for group insurance, we're increasing it by $11,000. PD maintenance, the liability insurance is also being increased by $11,000. Street maintenance, we're increasing by $100,000 to replace street and stop signs that aren't up to code. And that is being offset with funds from planning and zoning. And then senior programs, the health insurance line for parks is being increased by $12,000.
Thank you, Ms. Campbell. Just real
sir.
quick, somebody looking at this, some of our constituents that are checking these ordinances out, the increase in health insurance, that higher than initially budgeted. You explained that
Yes, sir.
very well to me. So just if somebody noticed that, they
Of
might
course.
wonder what that was all about.
Yes, sir. So especially in police department, with their department, they have a lot of staff moving around regularly. So that changes the amount that insurance goes up based on the staff that is in PD and which division they're put into. Most other departments, they don't have as much moving around, so theirs stays more stagnant, other than when we get increases for the whole city. So we don't have to amend those as much, but.
Thank you for that, Ms.
Yes, sir.
Campbell. Madam Mayor, do you have anything on this? Go ahead.
I do, thanks, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Heather,
Yes,
the
ma'am.
old mill site renovation for engineering, that's $200,000. But I know it's more than just the old mill.
Correct.
You have redevelopment for the cart service, roadway assessments, and pavement evaluations.
Yes, ma'am.
And is there a status, or what are we doing with what is it with the old mill that we're doing?
I'll be honest, I'm not.
Mr. Gray?
We're going to bring up Miss Chelsea Jackson
Okay.
to speak on that.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Chelsea Jackson, 6695 Church Street. So in reference to the old mill site, that is to do pre-testing as well as to hire some environmental attorneys to ensure that we are coordinating with the developers that Mr. Smith talked about earlier, that we develop correctly on that property, whether it's residential or mixed use. So it's not the entire 200,000. The amount that the attorneys as well as environmental attorneys have used is about 20,000.
Oh, okay. So it's not that much. We gonna put something around it to make it look a little more aesthetically
Yes, ma'am. The
pleasing?
developers that we're working with, they will ensure that they have like their site their site plan will make sure that it is nice and appealing from the road, or if they're riding down the street, that it'll be appealing and welcoming to individuals to come in if it's a mixed use development.
Yeah, it's an eyesore right now. We need to hurry up. All right. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Any other comments or questions on that item? I'd like to ask for the first three items, A, B, and C, to be placed on the consent agenda for Monday. All right. Item D, our last item, adopt a resolution authorizing the city manager to allocate downtown and New Horizons tax allocation district funds in an amount not to exceed $3,661,830 to reimburse the city's general fund for a portion of a certain redevelopment costs to be incurred by the city in connection with the acquisition, demolition, construction, and equipping of a new expanded city hall. Ms. Hampton.
I'm actually going to turn that over to Ms. Cowan, but essentially this item represents me going to the tax allocation district recommending committee to request 10% of our total construction costs for TAD funds to go toward the construction of City Hall. So
And-
Ms. Cowan has all the details.
It's my understanding that they voted unanimously to, yes.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Cowan.
Yes, so the city of Douglasville applied for tax allocation district funds in the amount of $3.6 million to provide funding assistance for the construction of the new city hall. This was approved by the TADAC Advisory Board on December 3rd. And the members present were Councilman Sam Davis, former councilman who is the chairman of the TADAC committee, Mark Adams, and Commissioner Mark Alcaraz. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Any questions, Madam Mayor?
I don't have questions on this one.
Anybody?
Excited.
Since this one is covered by folks that'll be here on Monday, I'm just going to leave this one on the agenda for Monday, since we got a couple council members that might be here on Monday. But anyway, since there are no further questions, thank you,
Thank you.
Ms. Callen. And that's all we had tonight under finance, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to the presenters this evening from staff. We appreciate you bring that information forward to us. We'll move on then to item number 7, Housing and Community Affairs, as chaired by Councilmember Howard Estes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business for the Housing and Community Affairs Committee this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Legislative and Intergovernmental Committee, chaired by Councilmember Mayor Pro Tem Terry Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. There's no business under the Legislative and Intergovernmental Committee at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. Personnel and Organization Committee, chaired by Councilmember Howard Estes.
Thank you again, Madam Mayor. We
You're
do
welcome.
have a couple of items this evening.
Yes, sir.
First up is item number 25-484. Adopt a resolution to adopt a new pay scale and direct the Finance Director and Human Resources Director to implement the final pay study results after consultation with Evergreen Solutions, LLC. Ms. Hampton.
Yes, sir. We've gone over this several times. Myself, along with both your other city managers, Deputy City Manager Chelsea Jackson and Assistant City Manager Karen Callen, have met with all of your staff members who were present at the team meetings, and that's through all departments. We also received a presentation from Evergreen Solutions at those meetings. This item would allow us to adopt those recommendations for those items to be put in place by our Human Resources Department no later than March 31st of 2026. We will have to come back to you with a finalized pay schedule with the job descriptions included in that pay schedule, but that will come after the job description review is complete at the first quarter, in the first quarter of next year, prior to meeting with all of the employees. This resolution allows us to commence that project to start that work so that in March we can expense those funds and apply those to any employee, all employees who are affected by the change.
And I'm assuming this will likely require a budget amendment?
It will require.
Because it's not quite the beginning of the next fiscal year.
That's correct, as well as the fact that when we begin to implement this, the recommended cost that was included in the results from Evergreen Solution is an estimate. By the
Right.
time we implement this, it will change. Also, Ms. Callen has to calculate in the cost of other items associated, because that is just the cost of wages. That does not include payroll taxes and all the other things that go along with this cost. This budget amendment will probably not come, Ms. Callen may correct me if I'm wrong, but this probably won't come until after March, when all of the numbers are
right.
settled. Yes.
Right, I get it.
Yeah.
And but then that will give us time before the next budget year planning
June.
to make those adjustments as needed.
Absolutely. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
perfect. Well, I think this is really exciting. I'm very proud that we have done this and that we can make these changes for staff. Any comments or questions from anyone up here? Madam Mayor?
The comment is just excited to be able to try to be competitive for our staff. We have a stellar employees, senior staff, everyone that works for the city of Douglasville. We are looked at all around the state, and we need to be able to support our employees financially. That's something that's commensurate to what they do. We can't pay them enough for what they do every day, but if we can do anything to try to help morale and to help financially with them and their families, I think we should definitely do it. I appreciate city manager and assistant city manager, deputy city manager, and staff bringing all this information to us with Evergreen. So excited to implement.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, seeing nothing else, I would like to place this on the consent agenda for Monday, please. And then we will move on to the next item, 25-492. Adopt a resolution amending resolution RES-2025-76, adopted November 17th, 2025, regarding the authorization of one-time holiday season payments to the City of Douglasville employees for 2025. Back to Ms. Hampton.
Yes, in the previous resolution, we just followed what we have done previously in the past, but it was caught by our Human Resources Department that resolution actually excludes part-time staff who work less than 30 hours. So you typically reward all of your employees on holiday bonuses, so we didn't want to exclude that group. So this amendment allows us to include those individuals so that they can receive that one-time holiday payment next week.
Excellent. And thank you to whoever caught that. That's wonderful. Any questions or comments from the elected? Yes, Madam Mayor.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I have received a few comments from people in the community about the city. They get the city and the county confused. And so I know the county, there was an article in the paper. We were in the paper as well for the bonuses, but they were in the paper and they had to do retention agreements to receive their Christmas bonus. And it's not the same. Ours is not written that way. We have a resolution it's based on merit for the year. There is no agreement that employees have to sign, and if they leave before the year, they have to turn it back in or something, and that's how it is in the county. And city manager, if you don't mind explaining.
Yeah, I think, I'll ask probably Mr. Dotson because of his tenure and what's been done historically in the city. Mr. Dotson, the county recently provided a retention bonus where they are requiring their employees to sign an agreement that if they are to leave in advance, that they have to pay back a portion of that. I guess I'm assuming that they're trying to avoid the gratuities clause by giving their employees funds. So the mayor's question to me was that she had gotten feedback that we should be doing something similar. But I shared with her that historically the legal staff has written these resolutions to provide for the fact that we are not in violation of that. And we have just continued that practice as long as I've been here.
That's true.
So we're not breaking any state laws or anything. It's not a gratuity. It's a bonus that we have a resolution for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Anybody else? Okay, seeing no further comment, I would also like to place this on the consent agenda for Monday. And Madam Mayor, that is all we have tonight for the Personnel and Organization Committee. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate that, and thank you to the City Manager and Assistant City Manager and Mr. Dotson. We'll move on to Planning and Development Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Nicole Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
You're welcome.
I would like to call the Planning and Development Committee to order. This evening, some of our items on the agenda will require a public hearing. Before we begin those items, I'd like to briefly review the procedures we will follow to ensure an orderly and fair process. These hearings are conducted in accordance with Georgia's Zoning and Procedures Act. As elected officials, it's our responsibility to ensure that all applicants are reviewed fairly, impartially, and in accordance with the city's zoning ordinance and adopted land use policies. For each zoning item requiring a public hearing, we will begin with a presentation from city staff, outlining the request for any relevant findings. The applicant will then have an opportunity to speak. Following those presentations, mayor and council may ask questions of both staff and the applicant. After that, we will open the floor for public comment. If you would like to speak in support or in opposition to the application, please complete a comment card before approaching the podium. Comment cards are located near the entrance of the room and should be submitted to the city clerk, well, actually the deputy city manager or assistant city manager, before your turn to speak. Please include your name, address, the item you wish to address, and if possible, any specific questions you would like staff to follow up on. All comments should be made respectfully and directly to the chair. When you speak, please begin by stating your name and address for the record. If you ask questions, please understand that we will not respond immediately during the public comment portion. Instead, staff will attempt to address all questions at once before the close of the public comment, provided that information is readily available. Each speaker will be allowed to speak up to 5 minutes. We will allocate a total of 20 minutes for comments in support and 20 minutes for comments in opposition. This is not a debate. Interruptions, outbursts, and other disruptions will not be permitted. There is a general public comment period at the end of the meeting tonight, but the City Council cannot hear additional public comment during the general public comment portion for specific zoning items where the public hearing has already taken place for that zoning item. The mayor will have to cut off any public comment that refers back to a specific zoning item. And as a reminder, the mayor has requested that there be no applause or other demonstrations during the meeting. Please ensure that electronic devices are silenced, and anyone who disrupts these proceedings will be asked to leave. And with that said, let's proceed to our zoning items. Our first item is item number 25-428. This is to hold a public hearing and consider a request for a variance from section 4.08 of the Unified Development Ordinance to allow the canopy accessory structure in the front yard on 3.134 acres located on 913 Highway 92, bless you, Dallas Highway, in land lot 635, District 1, Section 3, parcel IDs 0002 and 0012, application by Cave Springs Realty. And Mr. Dana Gray is going to go over this item with us.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Dana Gray, 6695 Church Street. Again, this is a request to allow the canopy accessory structure in the front yard for a gas station located at 913 Dallas Highway at the corner of Dallas Highway and Cave Springs Road.
Okay. And I know that in the very near future, we will no longer be seeing these.
Correct.
But, so to help with any confusion there, but since this application was already submitted, we will be seeing this one.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Before the applicant, or is the applicant here? Okay, before they come up, Madam Mayor, Council, did you have any questions of Mr. Gray? No? Okay.
Oh, Mayor Pro Tem.
Yeah, question. I don't know if I should get into this yet or not. The question about the site plan, but I can hold off if you want to
Okay.
wait.
Yeah, let's go ahead and hear this then, and then we'll get there. Hello, if you'll please give us your name and address for the record.
Jeffrey Peters, 300 Doya Parkway, Dallas, Georgia, 30132.
Hello, Mr. Peters. Do you have anything to add additionally to?
No, ma'am. I just want to emphasize that the front distance from the canopy to the front property line is 50 feet.
Okay. I appreciate that. Mayor Pro Tem, I know you had a question. Was that for the applicant or is that for?
Yeah, I guess it'll be for the applicant. I'm just noticing on the site plan that there are diesel pumps shown in the rear of the property. Is that for tractor trailers?
That will be for like dump trucks,
Okay.
cement trucks.
Not full rigs, though, not 18-wheelers?
No, this is not intended to be a truck stop.
Okay, just wanted to be clear about that. I didn't think that the zoning would allow.
No, but there is quite a bit of industrial that goes down through there, I believe, just with the sanitation yard being out that way and several other
Okay.
areas. Okay. Was there anyone else that had a question for the applicant regarding this? Nope. Okay. I know we have another one, but let's move along to the public hearing portion of this item. So if we have anyone here who would like to speak in favor of this item, if you'll please come up and give us your name and record, or name and address for the record. And if we don't, we'll move along. If we have anyone who would like to speak in opposition to this item, if you'll please come down. And again, if we don't, we'll go ahead and close that portion of the public hearing and move along to the next item, which is tied to the first, and that is item number 25-483. Says to hold a public hearing and consider a request for a variance from section 8.01 of the Unified Development Ordinance to reduce the required parking of the development from 53 spaces to 36 spaces on 3.134 acres located at 913 Highway 92, Dallas Highway, in land lot 635, District 1, Section 3, parcel IDs 0002 and 0012, application by Cave Springs Realty, and Mr. Dana Gray can go over this item with us also.
All right, so this is a request to reduce the parking from 53 parking spaces to 36 parking spaces for the same gas station located at 913 Dallas Highway. And the applicant is present to explain anything further for you all.
Okay, and I was trying to look, I think these are all the renderings that we have. So it's going to be the gas station with like front and back, I guess like on Cave Springs and Dallas Highway entrances, and then 2 additional spaces, 1 for retail and 1 for restaurant. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
Okay.
And the restaurant has a drive-through.
Has a drive-through. Okay. Which means that they'll be coming in and going out.
Correct.
Okay. I know that we've seen some of these. Coach, you had a question regarding this?
Mr. Gray, the 53 parking spots, is that, the way the rezoning reads, is that based on, is the number 53 based on the acreage or?
It's based on the use, so you have the convenience store use, you have the retail use, and you have the restaurant use.
Okay. So anything that's got those 3 uses is going to have a number of
Yes, so
parking
we have a chart that we follow based on that use, so you can have 1 per 200 square foot, 1 for 300 square foot, 1 for 1,000 square foot. So it's based on that chart that we use in our UDO.
And I assume the 20, approximately 20 spots less is based on what the layout of the footprint of the buildings and the shape of the lot
Of the site, the challenge of the site, that can trigger a request for reduction of parking. Also the use, so when you have a drive-through, you're not going to really have sit-down too much, so that can also trigger a request for reduction in parking.
So y'all feel reasonably certain that that's appropriate reduction and it'll be all right?
Yes,
as far as-
and he can provide more spaces. It's possible that he might go up from that 36. So, but even if it stays at 36, that's ample enough.
Any idea of the restaurant at this point in time?
They do not have an
Okay.
end user yet. But with the, of course, with the drive-through, less people sitting down. With the convenience, that's in and out, grab and go. So we definitely feel that's enough parking.
Thank you, Mr. Gray. Thank
Yes.
you, Madam Chair.
Absolutely. Anyone else have a question of Mr. Gray, Madam Mayor?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Mr. Gray. Just to piggyback on what Councilman Watts said, so you feel confident, are you were saying yes? You saying yes to the dress?
I am, based on those parameters of a convenience store and
Yes,
then
sir.
a drive-through, yes. I think if the restaurant was more of a sit-down, we would probably look at that differently.
Okay,
But
so
yes.
the reduction is exactly 19 spaces. So you're saying yes because of drive-through, because it's a consolidation of 3 businesses, but the one is convenient where people are going in and out.
Yes,
The
yes.
restaurant, they're not going to have as many people sitting down. If they were standalone, they would need all of those parking spaces. But because it's a combination and the reduction of maybe traffic, you're fine with the 19 spaces of being reduced.
I am, yes.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And would the applicant like to come up if you don't mind? I'm sorry. And if you'll please give us your name and address for the record again.
Jeffrey Peters with Elite Engineering, 300 WI Parkway, Dallas, Georgia, 30132.
Thank you so much. Do you have anything additional to add to this that we've not been over yet?
No, I would just like to emphasize on the next official submittal back to the city of Douglasville, we have gained more parking spaces. So we have a total of 48 parking spaces that they will be seeing.
Okay. And at this time, you don't have the tenants in place for the retail or the restaurant, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Our renderings are kind of fuzzy, I guess maybe the way they were copied, but it's, am I reading this right? Is it about 1,000 square foot per?
1650. There's a clearer one toward the end.
Oh, is there? Am I looking?
All the way.
Let me scroll down and find a clear one.
Page,
20, out of 26.
26. The one that we're
I
doing.
was definitely looking at the wrong one. Okay.
Page 20.
20.
Yeah, page 20 of
Now it's
26.
20 now.
Mm-hmm.
Here.
It looks much clearer.
Okay, look at that. Okay, so 1650 and 1650. Okay, so do you have any idea of what type of retail you'll be looking at to go in that? Because I think that would kind of help determine how many parking spots are needed.
I'm not
Can't say.
I'm not sure. I know we have the architectural plans that are finalized for the gas station. And then
Okay.
once we got the LDP, he was gonna look at potential buyers who may want to buy that. It's not gonna be an extensive, retail area. Probably like, an example, a vape shop or a boutique, but something just that's low impact.
Okay, and then the restaurant, I don't know, is that typical for a typical fast food restaurant to have such a small square footage?
Yeah, so as an example, we have not made any negotiations yet, but as an example, illustration, it would be like a Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay,
But not a vape shop. Just
that was the one
Little Caesar.
mentioned for the middle. Okay.
Little Caesar.
And then, I was curious, and maybe I'm wrong in here in thinking this, but the way you turn in and the additional parking all being over at the gas station, I guess that's because the drive-through is on the other end. It just looks like people are gonna have to like walk all the way across the parking lot to get to the retail. I don't know if I'm explaining my thoughts correctly, but
Well, our thought process on the land planning design, since there is an existing Cave Springs package store next door, all of their parking is in the rear. So we kind of piggybacked off that design to stay consistent, so all traffic had the same flow, and it
Okay.
wouldn't cause any risks along Highway 92.
Okay.
okay. I don't have any more. Coach?
Project like this, I'm assuming y'all gonna have turning lanes coming in off of 92, or would y'all be adding turning lanes?
So right now, we're working with Georgia DOT District 7, and they have reviewed our plans for the second time. Douglas County DOT has also reviewed the plans regarding the Cave Springs side. They also made recommendations along Highway 92. So what we're doing there is from the intersection along Highway 92, we are going to close the existing driveway that is currently in the field now. And then we're going to provide a 100-foot taper and an approximately 250-foot right storage lane, right turn storage lane that's going to go into the existing Cave Spring package. So we will have a right turn lane. I've finalized the design. It may be down to 100 and probably 190 feet if I do that, because we're wanting to align that driveway up with the proposed dumpsters. So the city garbage truck coming in and out, it'll be very easy.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Absolutely. Anyone else? Questions of the applicant? No. Okay. Well, at this time, then, let's go ahead and open up that public hearing. If we have anyone who would like to speak either for or in opposition to this item, if you'll please come down and give us your name and address for the record. If we don't, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing. And because it's a public hearing, we cannot place that on the consent agenda, so we will take that up on Monday. Thank you so much. Madam Mayor, that is all that I have this evening for planning and development.
All righty. Thank you, Madam Chair. We appreciate you handling the committee for us, and Mr. Gray, and the applicant as well, Mr. Peterson. So we'll move on now to item 11, and that is still within your purview. Councilmember Miller, is Public Improvement and Beautification Committee.
Yes, ma'am, and we have no business this evening for public improvement and beautification.
Thank you. Madam Vice Chair, Councilmember Hudson, would you please take Public Relations Committee?
Absolutely, Madam Mayor. We have no business under the Public Relations Committee this evening.
Thank you, ma'am. And the Vice Chair for Public Safety, Councilmember Watts, would you please take that committee?
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
You're welcome.
We have one item tonight under Public Safety. Authorize the Douglasville Police Department to apply for the 2025 Bulletproof Vest Grant from the U.S. Department of Justice, Bureau of Justice Assistance, in the amount of $24,923.40 for half the cost of 40 bulletproof vests. And
You got Major?
Major Stafford will cover this.
Madam Mayor and Council, we're here tonight to ask that we could apply for this grant. We do these grants in stages. Tonight we're asking for the permission to apply for the DOJ grant. We've done this grant for years. Yes, sir. And it's very beneficial to us. Allows us to pay for one half of all the vests that we project that we will need for the following year. And we have come to the conclusion that that should be in the amount of $24,923.40. Do you have any questions on that today?
So Major Stafford, this is a matching grant, so we're going to get $24,000 from the DOJ, and then we have to match that.
We don't have to pay the government any money, but we will need the other half of that money.
Okay, so that'll cover half the cost. Okay. And how many vests do you say we use?
Well, based on our attrition, the replacement costs as well, they also expire after 5 years. So there's the constant cycle of
Right.
replacing vests. So we believe that 40 would cover us.
Good. Okay. Thank you. Any comments or questions? All right. Thank you, Major Stafford. And I would like to place that on the consent agenda also. And
Looks
that's all we
good.
had tonight under Public Safety, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vice Chair, and thank you, Major Stafford, for the report. And hopefully we can get that DOJ grant and get those vests continue to be recycled in and new ones upgrades every 5 years. Recreation, Culture, and Tourism. It's still you, Coach. You're on deck.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have one item. Item A, to authorize the mayor to sign a memorandum of understanding with Georgia Recreation and Parks Association, Inc., and the conflict of interest and disclosure policy for the participation in the Georgia Recreation and Park Association, Inc.'s Boost 2.0 program, under which the city's Parks and Recreation Department receives funding and provides comprehensive out-of-school time services to K through 12 students in the total amount of $55,000. Ms. Thrasher will cover this.
Good evening, Madam Mayor. Shahar Thrasher, 8828 Gurley Road. So the Boost Grant, this is a grant that we initially were awarded between 2021 and 2024. Initially, it was a federally funded grant through the American Rescue Plan to help the learning loss experienced by students during COVID. Once those funds were eradicated, the state of Georgia decided to overtake the grant. So now we have Boost 2.0. So it's now state funded. So this will allow for us to continue the programs we've established in our out-of-school time programs. So that includes scholarships for students during our camps and expansion of our enrichment services for our youth and teens, including program supplies, instructors, and other resources. And if you have any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Thrasher. Today we did a walkthrough over the Boys and Girls Club. I'm assuming that a lot of these programs will be taking place there. This grant,
Yes, sir.
we kind of talked about that earlier. You just give us just a brief rundown of how the Boys and Girls Club facility is going to be implemented in all the parks and recreation, and this money would be going towards the fund.
Yes, sir. So our Youth Innovation Lab, which is the official name of the old Boys and Girls Club, will be ignited to spark youth and teen programs. So we will have a bunch of programs for our kids. That is where we will now host our summer camp and KDO camps at Hunter Park. And we also will expand our mobile rec services and put that more internalized with our STEM programs. We've had healthy futures and cooking classes for our students and really trying to ignite our teen programs. So something we've done this year is a lot of certification programs for our teens. We did like babysitting 101, CPR. We even offered like lifeguarding classes. So those are things we'll continue under this grant at the Youth Innovation Lab.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah,
Train
that's
our own
great.
lifeguards here in
I
the
like
county.
Yes.
One last thing, the $55,000, a lot of that will go towards scholarships for some kids, families that may not be able to participate because of cost. Is that?
Yes, sir. So we provide scholarships for all of our KDO camps, which are spring break and fall break camps, and then as well as our summer camp programs. A lot of times we look at, from a multi-use standpoint, how many students are coming out of one family, as well as, if they have some previous hardships. And so we offer full scholarships as well as partial scholarships, so they may be able to get half off, but just want to make sure that they have access to summer programs.
Thank you, Ms. Stratton. Y'all are doing a great job.
Thank you.
Any questions or comments? Yes, Madam Mayor.
I do, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Ms. Shahar. You did a wonderful job.
Oh, thank you, Madam Mayor.
You're welcome. Is this including swim? I know there are memberships in swim. So do you like the membership or the entry fees? Do you give any kind of grants or anything for that?
So this grant specifically is just specifically for out of school time,
Okay.
specifically for enrichment programs. We can probably offer something similar to like when it comes to education for swim, not
Okay.
necessarily like the daily entry fee, but we do provide during the summertime our summer swim programs. So that may be an opportunity for us to provide some scholarships because that is more education enrichment.
Okay. And the other thing is, why am I signing a memorandum for a conflict of interest and disclosure policy for participation?
Those are the two documents in the past that the Georgia Parks and Recreation Association has us sign. And it's been reviewed by the city attorney, but those are the typical two documents that we've signed in the past for this agreement.
How is it a conflict of interest? I don't get it.
It's not. You're confirming that there isn't.
No. The way it reads is like it is a conflict of interest in the okay. I get it. Thank you, Councilman Estes. All right, thank
He's
you.
not an
Thank
attorney,
you.
but he plays one on TV.
It's something. All right, thank you. I'd like the straight answer. Thank you.
Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
Madam Mayor. Thank you. Any other questions or comments for this item? All right, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Thrasher.
Thank you.
I'd like to place this on the consent agenda for Monday. Thank you, Madam Mayor. That's all we have.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman and Ms. Thrasher. We'll move on to Technology Committee. That is chaired by Councilmember Elena Hudson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm
welcome.
so excited to say we have one item under the Technology Committee this evening. We are authorizing the mayor to sign a proposal quotation number 26529738 and related documents with SHI International Corp. For volume licensing to continue the city's use of Microsoft Office 365 and other software in the renewal amount of $139,739.24. And Mr. Sam Jenkins is going to help us with this.
All right. Sam Jenkins, 6695 Church Street. Nice to see you guys, Madam Mayor, Council. You did a great job. But this is our annual renewal for our Microsoft license. We know we use that every day for our emails and things, and also for our Microsoft servers as well. We didn't make any changes this year. We kept the count the same. So it's pretty much the same as we usually did last year as well.
Okay, so no major changes as far as the dollar amount. Was that like on an escalator, or is that the same as well?
Yes, ma'am, it's the same.
Okay, we love to hear that. Council, do you guys have any questions Mr. Jenkins didn't address?
I do. Thank
Yes,
you,
ma'am,
Madam
Madam
Chairman. Yes, ma'am. Mr. Jenkins, with moving the City Hall to the former Airway Christian Academy, is there going to be, that does not affect the price or the service or whatever?
No, ma'am. So we still gonna have those same services, the same count of service, and also the servers as well. So we relocated our servers, some down to the PD, and we also moved some down to our Courthouse Square locations. So we
Okay.
will still remain, keep our same servers that we have.
Okay, so everything will suffice. We don't have to put in anything new, any more servers, any more lines, because we're kind of,
Yes,
it's a
ma'am.
lot of people in that one space.
We've been running a lot of fiber. That was our main thing, and a lot of networking switches too. So we got a whole new network infrastructure there at the Airway,
Yes, sir.
with the new Temp City Hall. We also got a new one at Club Drive. So we were doing a lot of infrastructure work, but that was all below the $100,000. So Ms.
Okay.
Marsha Hampton was able to sign those contracts. So yeah, we've been doing a lot of work, and we still got some more to do to move some of the things once everybody get moved out.
All right, how about the refresh for the conference center?
So yes, ma'am. So that's going well as well. We were just over there yesterday. Oh, it looked amazing over there. So the same thing, we got a new network infrastructure as well. We put 7 new network switches in there, and they were right below that $100,000 threshold too. So Ms. Hampton was able to sign that.
Okay.
We also got new TVs, new displays, and also some other new technology coming in there as well. So that's all going well. The last thing they got to do now is just run the fiber since the old City Hall is going to be going away.
Right.
We got to take that fiber from from the conference center down to Club Drive back over to Courthouse Square. So that still need to be done that we're working on. We had 2 other sites we had to do too. The Boys and Girls Club, we had to put fiber in that location there as well. So that's done. Also we get fiber to Airway, which that is of course done now too. So the last fiber drop is the one for the conference center, which will be done next month.
Okay, so it doesn't change anything. Thank you so much, Mr.
All right,
Jenkins.
thank
Thank you,
you.
Madam Chair.
Yeah, thank you so much. Not to belabor the point, but I've even been moving my own technology. I've been like a little Sam Jenkins in my business moving stuff, and I know it's not easy. So the fact that you guys are like flipping an entire city hall and doing all this, it's just incredible. So I appreciate you guys keeping us, online during this transition. Does anyone else have anything to add? All right, if it's all right with council, I would love to add this to the consent agenda for Monday. All right,
Looks
it's good to
good.
go, Madam Mayor. Thank you,
All
and that's
right.
all we have for the Technology Committee.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Madam Chair. We'll move on to the last committee. The last word will be the Mayor Pro Tem, Vice Chair for Transportation Committee.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd be
You're
delighted to
welcome.
take that tonight. We have several items under the Transportation Committee. And the first is to authorize the mayor to sign a letter of acknowledgement regarding procurement, management, and administration of engineering and design-related consultant services for the Georgia Department of Transportation. And Mr. Thompson, the
Okay.
most eloquent, will help us.
Engineer,
All right, good evening, Madam Mayor,
good
Council.
evening.
Marcus Thompson, City Engineer, 8845 Courthouse Square. All right, so it's that time for us to recertify for the LAP program. And if you can recall, this program is basically, it allows a city like us to basically manage transportation projects that receive federal and state and federal funding. All right, so by signing this document before you this evening, the city agrees to follow GDOT's procurement policy for engineering and design consultants on those projects, and to use GDOT certified staff to handle advertising, evaluation, negotiation, and contract administration in compliance with the applicable federal and state requirements. There's no direct budget impact from this action. It simply keeps us eligible and in good standing for GDOT and FHWA funding. Staff recommends approval to authorize the mayor to sign this letter. Are there any questions or concerns?
Basically, we promise to follow the rules.
Exactly.
We could put that just in one sentence. It has to be 5 pages, but anyway. Any questions or comments, Madam Mayor?
I do. Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. Thank you, our city engineer, Mr. Thompson. So this is inclusive of ARC as well, like any of the programs that we might want to reach out. Do they come under the umbrella of GDOT, or are there other rules and requirements for Atlanta Regional Commission?
Well, it correlates with the ARC. So say, for instance, give you a good example, we're currently in the process of putting some of our projects on ARC's tip list to receive federal funding. But
Right.
in order for us to, basically, once we receive that federal funding, then we'll have to follow these policies and procedures. to
Okay.
manage the project.
So they don't have additional requirements for ARC?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thanks so much. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Madam
Chair,
Mayor. Any other
Vice Chair.
questions or comments? All right. Oh, this one will most definitely go on the consent agenda unless somebody objects. Okay. The next item is to authorize the mayor to initial and sign a GDOT procurement certification statement for engineering and design-related consultant services. Mr. Thompson, back at you.
So this next item is related to the previous GDOT procurement agreement, but it serves a slightly different purpose. Basically, this item is a GDOT certification statement where the mayor is basically initialing and signing to confirm that we are using the policy and following the required federal and state procedures with qualified staff.
Okay. And this one takes 11 pages to say, yes, we'll follow the rules.
So basically, they work together. One adopts the policy, and this one certifies our compliance with it, as it is a part of the recertification process.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, we'll definitely put this one on the consent agenda unless somebody objects. All right, our final item under the Transportation Committee is to authorize the mayor to sign a Title VI non-discrimination agreement with the Georgia Department of Transportation. Yours again, Mr. Thompson.
All right. So this is our last document we must submit with the recertification package. It basically confirms that the city will operate its programs and projects fairly without discrimination based on race, color, national origin, or sex, and that will follow the related federal civil rights laws. Again, there's no budget impact from this action. It's just basically a compliance requirement.
There are comments I'd like to make about this time, but I won't. Any questions, comments from the council at this
I
time?
do have one, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. Engineer Thompson, do we have a DBI or anything in this one, or is just a general, there is not an allocation for 10% for women or minorities or anything like
No,
that?
not at
Okay.
this
So
moment.
that's the federal, but not municipal?
So it's federal. It's a part of some of the projects that we do work on. It's called the DBE.
DBE, I said DBI.
So it comes with the basically the policies that we're adopting tonight.
Okay.
It's just something that's standard.
So that provision is in there under federal requirements
Yes,
for
that's
DBE.
correct.
Okay, for
And I think
women.
Title VI stands alone as just simply a non-discrimination agreement, my understanding, so that's correct.
Okay.
So what you're referring to are projects that could fall under that. So,
Yes, sir.
but this is lies on top of that, all that.
Okay.
Councilman Watts, yes. You look like you're about to ask a question. Any other questions, comments? Okay, hearing none. Maybe all right, we'll put it on the consent agenda too, if nobody objects. All right, Madam Mayor, that is all we have tonight under the Transportation Committee.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. I appreciate you taking that committee as vice chair, and thank you, our engineer, city engineer, Mr. Thompson,
Thank
for
you
the
all.
explanation.
Take
We
care.
appreciate that. We're at item number 17. Any other business to come before council tonight from the elected officials? We do have a executive session after, but I don't think there's any other business. We have anything? I'll come to the police department. You always usually have something. All right, so we did have a successful Jingle Jamboree parade last Friday. It was well attended and it was nice weather. It wasn't too cold. It was perfect. It was just a wonderful time had by all. The reindeer looked like they need some Ozempic. They were chunky this year. Those reindeer, they were eating. They were really fun though. Yes, sir.
Madam Mayor, I couldn't attend because I was out of town, but I heard something about some large pink creature that was a sighting.
There was a big
I didn't
pink
see it.
sighting.
I saw a photograph.
A pink bunny. It was a pink bunny.
Small pink bunny?
Yeah, it was pretty nice. It was great. We had a nice time, and it was
We
really.
If you hadn't
community
pointed that out,
relations
I
go ahead and
would've.
put that on the screen for us real quick.
Oh, can we do that?
No pictures.
Wisely shook his head.
What happens in Vegas stays
You'll
in
laugh,
Vegas.
but it's going to be a group effort next year. Like
Okay.
we're all doing that. Mayor Pro Tem, that's you too.
Okay.
A group of pink bunnies?
Pink
We're all
bunnies.
dressing up.
We're going to keep on moving. Okay. Updates from our city staff, our city attorney, Mr. Joel Dodson. Thank you, Attorney Dodson. Staff Attorney, Ms. Miranda Jordan.
No business, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, ma'am. Our Police Department Major Staff.
No business, Madam Mayor.
You don't you have something on the 13th?
Well, if you want me to talk about, we have the Christmas Festival on
Yes.
Saturday
Yes,
from
sir.
4 to 8 p.m. Look forward to seeing you all there.
Yes, sir. I knew it was
Under
something.
the lights.
Yes, sir.
That's all we have this weekend.
Okay, I know you have something all the time.
We always have something.
Yes, sir. Community, one with the community.
That's right.
Thank you so much. Our City Manager, Ms. Marcia Hampton.
Yes, ma'am. Just a couple announcements, and then I'm going to ask Ms. Karen Callan to come up to the podium to introduce a new staff member. We are wrapping up, as was stated earlier, the transition to, I'm just not going to say Airway, I'm going to say to our Spring Street location, so we can stop saying that since that is not where it is. But as of December 19th, City Hall will be closed. Our current City Hall will be closed to the public. Starting the week of December 22nd, city government will be closed. We will open up on the 29th to the public, but it will be in a virtual capacity. We will not have our doors open to the public as we will continue to transition to allow for our Spring Street location to fully open. Our Spring Street location will be fully open to the public on January 5th. Our Community Relations Department will be working through all of the announcements to get all of that information out. But if individuals need to access business license, permitting, and all those things, they will be able to do so. Our staff will be engaging with the public to make certain to notify them that week of the 29th, that's how they will have to engage with us. The other is you all, when you come into City Hall, that initial access to the front door, the front window, all of your services now will be in one location. As you know, in others, they have not been. So that's where we'll be starting January 5th. Ms. Callan, if you want to come up, and I will just mention, it wasn't said earlier on the pay study, but half of the total cost of the pay study is being contributed to advancing wages within our police department. And that is inclusive of raising our minimum starting pay in the police department for police officers to $60,000 a year. We are not changing city minimum wage, but we are changing the minimum starting salary for our law enforcement officers.
Okay.
All right, so the former HR director vacated the position in June of 2025. So we went through 2 rounds of interviews. We couldn't settle on a candidate. So we then hired Mercer Group to do an executive search. Then we finally felt like we had a candidate that met the needs of our city. And Ms. Forrester started this past Tuesday. She's got 25 years of experience in human resources, most recently from Georgia State University, and prior to that, the city of Savannah. So please let me introduce you to her. We'll call her up and let her introduce herself and tell you a little bit about herself. So
Bring them up, bring them up.
Good evening,
Good
Madam
evening.
Mayor, council members. You ever been on the airplane and want to cough? That was me back there, struggling. Wanted to introduce myself, Colleen Forrester. Like Karen says, I have actually over 28 years of human resources experience. I have a master's degree in HR management, and I'm also a certified professional. In addition to the city of Savannah and Georgia State University, I've worked at the Home Depot as a store HR manager. I've worked with University of Miami. I've worked with Miami-Dade County, Miami-Dade College, Palm Beach State. A lot of experience. So I bring to the table a lot of diversity and the ability to meet you where you're at, to make sure that we're accomplishing the goals of the city, the goals for our employees and our community that we serve. So I'm here, I'm grounded, and I'm ready to get done.
Wow, Ms. Forrester, we're so excited that you're here.
Me too.
Yes,
I'm very
yes.
excited.
So you're a Panther. Wait a minute.
Yeah, I was a Panther, I was a Hurricane, I was
in Savannah. My daughter
Yeah.
is still in Savannah. She graduated from Savannah State, the baby.
Oh.
So Mayor Johnson is there. He is the vice chair, I think, coming into National Leagues of Cities, and the chair of the African American Mayors Association. So Savannah, we do great relationship with them. Our annual conference is there every year. Georgia Municipal Association conference is in Savannah. So maybe you'll have an opportunity to go back.
Yeah, that
to
would be
that
lovely,
policy.
ma'am.
Yes,
I had
ma'am.
a really exciting experience with the city of Savannah, working in human resources. So I am truly, truly excited to be here to support all the goals, the HR goals for this organization.
Thank you so much, and we're
Thank
happy
you.
to have you. It was I know our staff was doing a heavy lifting. They were sharing, the city manager and assistant city manager, deputy city manager, so we're happy that you're here to support the staff. And we've had a great staff that was standing in the gap until you were here, Mr. Justin and Erica and everyone in HR. We appreciate you coming and leading the team to the next level. And as I said something about parks, HR really, you're the unseen, but really the ones who, kind of the heartbeat of the city to help us. So we're excited
Yes,
to have
ma'am.
you. Welcome.
Thank
We
you
have
so
any
much.
Comments? Any comments from staff? Personnel, organization, that's going to be.
I'm just going to say welcome aboard. I know the staff, HR staff has been counting the minutes, and I can definitely see that smile on Karen's face.
I know, it's a lot of-
Yeah,
It's
she's
been a
ready
long
to
time.
pass the buck.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, but welcome aboard. We look forward to working with you.
Same here. Thank you so much. Have a
Thank
good
you.
evening.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Welcome. City manager?
Only the state that Monday is your last council meeting of the year. And we will be honoring departing council member Dr. LaShawn Burdanley on Monday at 5 p.m. It is open to the public, so we look forward to seeing you all Monday at 5 o'clock to acknowledge her 18 years of service.
All right, city manager, we do have the meeting with the delegation.
We do have
On the
that
18th.
on that is your invite, your meeting on the 18th of
right.
December.
All right.
Well, and Jason.
And Jason is the next,
Marcia's
if you
getting
come
ready
up,
to do that.
a staff report regarding the upcoming,
It's me.
State
Jason said he's
legislative
just
bills.
playing technology. For your meeting with the delegation on the 18th, we've compiled the issues and concerns that you all want to bring forth to your delegation, including charter changes that will be reflective of the things that you want to acknowledge related to voting and voting in districts. So if you have any comments or specific concerns about the video, please let Jason know, and we can make those adjustments. And he's also prepared an accompanied written document that we will have as well for them. But it should be about 3 minutes, Jason? About 3 minutes.
Douglasville is a city on the move. Each year we come together with our state legislative delegation to celebrate progress, highlight projects shaping our community, and share the priorities where your partnership is critical. Together with our citizens and community partners, Douglasville is growing stronger, safer, and more connected. At the end of 2023, we opened the Greystone Amphitheater in Town Green. In 2024, we experienced our first full year of events, and the response was overwhelming. Every ticketed show sold out, and our Wednesday wind-down concerts brought thousands downtown each week. Funded through revenue bonds, the Town Green has already become a catalyst for growth, helping to generate new private investment with the tax allocation district. With Phase 2 development underway, new housing and retail will further energize downtown. Transportation remains a top priority. With support from the SPLOST and LMIG, we resurfaced nearly 12 miles of roadway across 51 streets this past year, improving safety and mobility for drivers and residents. We also marked the completion of the State Route 92 relocation project, reducing congestion through downtown. Now our focus shifts to the Fairwood Road corridor, once part of State Route 92. With state support, the Complete Streets project will add sidewalks, safer crossings, lighting, and bike facilities, while also expanding our sidewalk program to repair existing infrastructure and improve connectivity across the city. We are also investing in our community spaces. At Jesse Davis Park, a $25 million renovation has been completed, bringing new playgrounds, a splash pad, a community center, a senior center, and other improvements. This park now reflects the vibrant and welcoming spirit of Douglasville. This year, we opened the Douglasville Recycling Center, offering residents a free, efficient, and effective way to recycle. It replaces curbside pickup, which often led to contamination and waste, and delivers the service our community has long requested. In addition to these accomplishments, our police department achieved National CALIA accreditation this year, a distinguished recognition that highlights the department's commitment to excellence, accountability, and community-focused service. This accreditation reflects the continued professionalism of our officers and their dedication to keeping Douglasville safe. As we look ahead, we're preparing to break ground on our new City Hall at the start of the year. This project is possible because of the important work of our legislators in protecting local sales tax funding, which generates the significant dollars needed for capital improvements that cannot be supported by property taxes alone. Together with tools like SPLOST and TAD, these resources make a project like our new City Hall achievable. This modern facility will serve as a central home for city government, more efficient, more accessible, and built for the future. With these accomplishments, we've made tremendous progress, but we remain focused on the future. And this year, we ask for your support in 3 key areas. First, increased transportation funding. As our community grows, so do the demands on our infrastructure. We ask for the continuation of doubled LMIG funding, which is essential for meeting resurfacing and maintenance needs across the city. Second, the Fairburn Road Corridor. With Highway 92 relocated, Dallas Highway and Fairburn Road are now city streets. With your support, we will move forward with the Complete Streets project, transforming this corridor into a safe, vibrant, and accessible entrance into our city. And third, public safety. With the closure of the North Central Georgia Law Enforcement Academy, agencies across West Georgia no longer have access to local training. The Georgia Public Safety Training Center has expressed interest in establishing a new regional academy here in Douglasville. We ask for your support in securing the state funding needed to make this a reality. From new parks and public spaces to transportation improvements to a thriving downtown, Douglasville is moving forward. As part of strengthening local governance, the mayor and council are also proposing charter updates designed to modernize Douglasville's municipal election processes. With SPLOST, TAD, and the support of our state partners, we are building the future our citizens deserve. Together, we are making an impact that matters.
Very good. Thank you so much, Community Relations. It was very good. Thank you, City Manager. I did have a question about 92, now that it has become a city street, and I keep forgetting to ask this. The resurfacing is on the list, or where?
Ms. Burdette, which portion of 92, Madam Mayor?
Really the whole thing, but.
The entire State Route 92, or are you mentioning the portion in front of Stewart Middle School? Is that where you?
It's kind of holes all over the street. I don't know if I'm the only one, but when we drive to city, till we come to Jesse Davis Park, the street is from the railroad to Simpson. It's kind of, but it's more deteriorated near Stewart Middle School all the way down here too.
Right. We don't have it on a current list, but we can get it on one.
Really?
Mr. Thompson, is it currently ours yet? Have we gotten that signed over to us? Not the official, correct?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not officially ours yet. It is going to be a city street, but I didn't think that they've actually given us right of way to it as of yet.
Okay, so once we get it from the
We
state,
can add
then
it
we
onto
can-
the list.
Yeah,
Yes,
because
ma'am.
it's pretty in disrepair. All right, thank you. That was a great presentation. We look forward to it. We have not received a place to hold it yet. It's to be determined, since we didn't do the conference center refresh, but usually we meet at the conference center. So do we have a location yet?
It is being managed by the Chief of Staff, Tiffany Stewart Stanley at Douglas County. So
Oh.
Kristen Tate is coordinating with her, and we just await to hear from Chief of Staff at the county.
Okay,
I saw it was showing the Lithia Springs Senior Center.
Could be.
okay, I hadn't heard that.
Is there, I know we had discussed the possibility of a CID. Is that still under
We,
Push that off for the time.
you and I may want to talk about that since Mr. Pumphrey is now leaving, so I think that may have kind of paused a little bit, but it's probably not too late, but we probably need to talk about a strategy on how we get that in front of the delegation.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Any other comments for the delegation meeting? All right, thank you so much. Let me see, that was item 19. So we are now at item 20, comments from citizens and delegates section. If you sustain the meeting and you'd like to speak to us, please come forward and give us your name and address for the record. And you have 5 minutes to talk to us about any business germane to the city of Douglasville. Okay, I don't see any. We do have an executive session. I did want to announce that city manager and I had an opportunity yesterday to speak at the National Forum for Black Public Administrators. It was officials from all across the country were at University of Georgia in the Carl Vinson Institute, and they asked the city manager and I to come and talk about synergy between the chief elected official, and the chief senior official for the city. And so we talked about those relationships, and she did a fabulous job. It was really nice to see people from all over the country, and there was someone from my hometown that was there as well. But that was really nice. All right, any comments from citizens? If not, council, it was a little long because, it's almost our last one. But if we don't have any other business, I'll open the floor for a motion to adjourn into executive session to discuss property acquisition. Thank you. It's been properly moved in second to adjourn into executive session to discuss property acquisition. If we have any questions or comments from council, all those in favor, please say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. We are adjourned into executive session to discuss a property acquisition after a brief recess. Adjourned into executive session after a brief recess.